You head over to the goblin, and it kind of just turns to you with like this crazed look in its eyes, and you actually see like it almost looks like its eyes are kind of faintly glowing, and it just kind of like looks at you and starts laughing.
Hey, are you okay, mister? You don't look so good. I think you should maybe sit down for a little bit.
Give me a insight check. You said 13. Yeah, like it's looking at you, but it doesn't even like seem to be processing what you're saying.
She's gonna grab its shoulder and kind of like shake it, like, don't do this. You're better than this.
And it's just looking at you, and it's like, like it's just like cackling and making weird noises, and it's kind of like jumping up and down, and then you see as it shoves its hand into its pocket and just pulls out like a few peanuts and holds them out to you.
I knock him out of his hands.
Okay, you knock them out of his hands, and he just looks at you, and he's like, "Ah!" And then he goes and scrambles and picks them up, and as he picks them up, he just like starts eating them.
No, don't eat those. They're bad for you. This is gonna get you in a bad situation, mister.
And you see as it just like looks at you, and then it just like starts like hissing at you and like nipping at you a little bit, like.
So I assume because of my history, Clara has some knowledge of goblins being high on shit at Rakdos clubs.
Oh, you're very familiar with cacklers.
Does she know how to like calm down a person on these drugs? I assume she's had to do it in the past. And can she attempt to do that? I don't know how, but she would like to attempt to do that.
So you can try to make a medicine check.
Okay.
But like basically you're pretty familiar with the concept. You were much younger when you had to deal with this. But like basically once you're far enough gone on cacklers, like while you're high, you quite literally it's basically having the equivalent of the Feeble Mind spell cast on you while you're high.
Okay, well, any of the cacklers, I assume the 8 isn't successful in anything.
It is not. Like you're able to kind of like look into his eyes, and then like that's when you recognize like, okay, this one is like seriously far gone. Like it's you realize it's to the point where nothing you say is going to get through to it.
She would like to start reaching in his pockets to see if she can find any more and like taking them from him.
He kind of just like starts slapping your hands away. And by the way, when he offered you peanuts, they quite literally were just peanuts. There were no drugs.
Oh.
But like
drugs.
like as you start like going for his pockets, like he goes out and he like starts like scratching you and batting your hands away, and then you see as he starts just like running away towards the like large table where there's a fight going on in the middle of the room.
Ow, mister, I'm just trying to help you.
And you see as he's kind of just like jumping up and down at the edge of the like at the edge of the ring, just like jumping and laughing at the two fighters.
And question this guy, I don't remember his name. Let's say, why are you hurting these people?
And he just goes, We do not, we do not do anything. We provide pleasure in whatever way the people seek.
That's not pleasure, that's torture. I've experienced a lot of this stuff when I was little, and it's really bad and it ruins people's lives, you know.
No one is forcing you to do it, but if they choose to do it, then Rakdos is all about pleasure. We do not judge how you take it. He seems to be enjoying himself. Look at him! And you just see as, like, the thing is just, like, jumping and screaming at the table.
I know you guys like to think of us goblins as just stupid little people, but, you know, we can be really good if you give us a chance, and obviously you don't care. And then she stomps away.
After she stomps away, I'm just gonna say, wait, people think of goblins as people?
Yeah, and, Cesar is just gonna be like, little one, that is very racist. Goblins are people as much as anybody else. These goblins just like being high. Also, hi, Brian.
He's dead.
He's muted.
It only took a minute and he's dead. What time is it right now?
It's like 4:30ish p.m.
Well, I suppose perhaps we should take our leave then. We have a few hours. Perhaps we could get a little bit of a little nappy nap, as they say in the Orzhov.
Yes. Little nap.
Yeah, so if you're gonna be back here at midnight, you're pretty much like just under the amount of time for a long rest. So you can take a short rest, and you can like go do things, but you don't quite have a full 8 hours, especially if you're like moving around, getting to the safe house or somewhere else.
A nap is a full rest, Zach. A nappy nap is a short rest. God, get with the lingo.
Of course. Hello, Brian.
Hello, forgive me.
You are forgiven.
It's me.
I'm gonna
Also, yeah, I'm so sorry. I could hear you guys talking, but I ran to the bathroom real quick to save time and not explain. But I could still hear.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna chase after Clara and say, Clara, you can leave and you don't have to come back if you don't want to.
I don't know, but we have to do the thing, you know? I can't just abandon the mission.
Can't abandon the mission? Would you like it better if maybe we brought like a little thing for you to stay in so you don't have to look at everything? We'll get you a little like playpen.
I'm just imagining, like, Fox walking around with one of those, like, baby harnesses strapped to his chest and Clara just sitting in it.
With her eyes, blindfolded so she doesn't have to see anything.
Eyes bleeding out as he walks over.
Just outside.
Oh, hey, do you need some medical care?
Well, it would be nice.
This is not the place for that.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Well, just take a napping nap. Guys, I haven't told you this, but my real parents, not the ones you've met, they were like that goblin over there. They sat in these nightclubs and were harassed by people and basically you just used for entertainment. And it was really bad. And then we got separated and I've never seen them since. So it's really hard to see other goblins like me being tortured in the same way.
Holy shit.
I would like to order the Bone Collective to go up behind Tavro and then say boo.
You're not even listening to Clara tell her life story. You're just being a little shit.
Laura, I am sorry to hear that. Perhaps he's right. This may not be the safest spot to be in.
But I can't abandon the mission, guys.
maybe
Clara,
when we
can you
come
actually
back,
just
we'll
give me a
decide
straight, like, intelligence or history check? Or even medicine?
Let's see. I don't
Yeah,
know
the shit your parents did was way stronger than this.
Sorry, what were the options?
Intelligence, history, or medicine?
Oh, I got it. I got it.
Yep, never mind.
Ooh.
Well, Clara, maybe it would be good to get some fresh air at least.
I want to help them.
We can go discuss it. Let's just go somewhere that's not here so we can rest and maybe, I don't know, stitch a few things up. You're looking at some, like a cut that's in my side or something.
Bro.
It's
Yes,
me.
Brian, I'm Azorius.
That's what I figured based on what you told me last time. I just meant to ask to make sure.
Yeah, like you would know that. Like by the time you showed up, like I have an Azorius signet around my neck.
Yeah, just because that would placate me here a lot more if you're actually from Azorius.
Oh yeah, by the way, I definitely have had an Azorius signet around my neck for the last week. Just so you all know.
Wow! God,
Whoa, dude!
is that new? I never noticed that
Oh,
before.
I assume this is the thing you got.
Yeah, the boss can say that always happens.
I've always been meaning to ask for the past week. How'd you get that nice little medallion?
Yeah, before we went out, it was mentioned. It was brought to my attention that there was opportunity to possibly rise in the Azorius, given some of the work that we have done, separate from here, of course.
I would imagine separate from me.
Well, in case anyone's listening, I need to make sure they know this is not involved. No, sir.
We're not fellow secret agents.
Nope.
Well, I do have a proposition, seeing as we don't have our old apartment block anymore.
Yeah, how long until the vacate the safe house?
Immediately. Oh yeah. By the way, we really should not go back to that safe house.
Oh.
I was during my promotion. One of the precogs told me that there may be some other things already lurking there. Also, I told you that 5 days ago.
I have a suggestion. Perhaps we could go to my guild hall. That way I can do what I said I wanted to do earlier, and you all can be nearby just for your own peace of mind.
I suppose that would be fair. Are you sure the Raptors aren't going to want to keep the both like here in the meantime?
He's a fighter later, not now. And besides, I'm gonna snap and make him do the Macarena.
Sure, you see as he, like, forms the limbs needed he forms the limbs as they are needed, and then they kind of just, like, dissolve back into bones.
I was imagining he forms like all 6 limbs to do each part of the Macarena, like each. Yeah.
Yeah, so he does it, like, all simultaneously as you just, like, force him to do the Macarena.
Oh, as I snap and make him stop again, you wouldn't understand. It's an Orzhov dance.
There's a man on TikTok who has made 30 videos doing the Macarena to different songs.
Wow. Uh, so, I think, unless anyone else had something, we could head out. Mainly, I'm saying, Zach, is there like some restaurant next to my guild hall?
Yeah, there's like pretty much wherever you are. It depends where you are is going to be the quality, but you can always find things like food. Um, if you're going back to if you're going back to Viscopa, which is like the main Orzhov guild hall, that is a place of opulence. I mean, you can go into the actual guild hall and like it is by far one of the nicest guild like mess halls there is. But you'd also be in the first precinct. So that is where like fine dining establishments, diners, pretty much like think of it like what you would normally think of as like kind of an upscale city. It would be like downtown New York or like downtown San Francisco.
Okay.
You're currently in the 5th district, 5th precinct, I mean, which is basically like if you went to New York and then really wanted heroin.
Yeah.
Yes. So do you think there's I would be able to get them into the mess hall at least, or would I have to like get in and then, steal a few uniforms?
Guests are welcome, but to partake in the mess hall, they must pay.
How much?
It's not much. It's like 2 silver for a guest, as long as they are with a guild member. It's like 2 silver for a head, and then they can take part in any amenities that are accessible to you.
Okay. Yeah. So, does that fit with everyone?
I suppose. Are you sure they're gonna want a cop in there? Or she just looks at the cow.
I think you're forgetting someone else, and I look at Katie.
Oh, she's barely even a cop.
Yeah,
But
wait a
also-
second. How do I trust you, punk?
We don't even
Me?
know you.
Yeah.
Clara's still like not okay. Never mind.
As long as you have that thing with you, I'm coming. I'm coming! Sorry.
Oh God! Why am I in the blast zone now?
Also, 2 silver is a 10th of what I own.
If you recall, during character creation, you have about 300 gold unless you spent it on something special.
I see.
I mean, you could have spent it all. That's up to you. But
I mean, unless it's for that magic item I have.
no, that is something that you have with your rank in the Boros.
Right, yeah, so, nah.
Okay, off to your stuff, I guess.
Yeah, so it'll take you, if you're walking, it'll take you about 3 hours to get there, or you can get on the promenade and grab and charter a carriage to bring you back to the first precinct.
This was my idea, so I'll pay for the carriage. How much is it per person?
It's a silver per person, including the Bone Collective.
Okay,
So
six.
6? Yep, there's 5 of you now. Yeah, so 6 silver to get back to the Viscopa, which is the main like Orzhov guild hall, and that's where you specifically work out of yourself. So let's get that up. So you make your way. You're able to charter a cart that brings you back to the guild hall, and after about an hour, you all find yourselves at the entrance to the main Orzhov Guild Hall, Viscopa. And I am putting you all on the map now.
Someone's zooming.
Money!
Connor was here from Bossing Say, so I had to bring him back to the entrance.
A lot of gold.
Hold on, I think this is the
I was gonna
entrance.
say, I don't think this is the entrance.
Yep, I definitely put you in the wrong section.
This is where they keep all the money.
1 second.
Anyway,
Oh boy.
everyone just fill your pockets.
Everyone just appears. They walk through a portal and are in the vault.
Also, I sent a message in the Discord that is not quite for right now, but sometime in the future.
We're just gonna do a quick reset of the fog of war here.
Wow, Mr. Fox, it's sure pretty in here. As Clara's never seen something so embellished in her life.
Indeed, much finer than some of the other places we've been to lately.
Yeah,
Takes a
so
while to get used to not this.
as you step in, you do see that there is just like an acolyte at the entrance to the like hall proper, and he goes, "Welcome, welcome." And he turns to you, Fox, and goes, "Mr. Machine, good to have you back. I see you bring guests. Will they be registering for a day with us?"
I was hoping to have them rest in the mess hall. I will be needing them later tonight. They just need a place to recover for the time being.
Of course. Well, I'm sure you're familiar with the practice, although I'm not sure if you've ever actually brought a guest here outside of the guild. It'll be 2 silver a head for each of your guests, and that will allow them to participate in any of the standard guild hall benefits that you have.
Wow, look how shiny it is, Mr. Fox. As Lawrence runs past this dude to go to the...
I'm gonna need you to give a acrobatics check as he like goes out to try and grab like the like back of your robe as you try to run past.
Well, I think I have something that like stops me from being small. Oh, you're small.
You have Fury of the Small and Disengage. I don't think either of those lets you just... I mean, I guess you can disengage beforehand.
I guess
Yeah.
he catches me.
Yeah, so you like just start running in and looking at everything, and he like just grabs the back of your hood as you go through and just pulls you back, and he goes, "The silver first, ma'am."
Oh, I'm sorry.
It is also a requirement of all visitors, if they are not taking out a loan, to be accompanied by their patron at all times while within the guild hall. Please do not run ahead of Mr. Machine.
I'm just gonna like pat Clara on her back and just say, "And please, no touching."
And you see as the guy goes, "Yes, please, no touching."
Oh, it's so shiny.
And he actually looks at all of you and sees how kind of like beat up you are, and he actually goes, "Well, sorry, but this certainly won't do." And you see as he snaps his fingers a few times, and like all of the blood is completely just like washed off of you immediately, and like some tattered in your robes and stuff. It just looks like they've been cleaned pretty quickly. We have a certain standard of dress here.
I don't think any amount of cleaning will make Clara's garments not tattered, but he can try.
No, they're still tattered, but like they're no longer like covered in oil and blood.
That's fair.
And I just have a big fucking piece of metal tied to my chest.
You still have a big fucking piece of metal tied to your chest. Just 'cause- Sorry, we have a certain manner of cleanliness that we abide to here.
Mr.
And,
Warnock, do you have snacks here? I'm quite famished.
I'll be taking you to the mess hall. Don't worry.
Clara's just really excited to be out of the Rakdos house.
And
I would like to tell the guy, I do have a loan taken out already. Am I able to pass?
you are free to make your way directly to the loan office and then leave if you would prefer to do that, sir.
That was what he said. Like, what is it?
You have to be
able to pass?
accompanied unless you're doing it alone.
Oh, unless you're doing a loan. I thought he meant if you have a loan already, you don't pay the silver.
No, but Fox is paying.
You are welcome to go. I'm happy to escort you to the loans office if you have something to deal with your loan, but you will not be allowed to partake in the guild hall's niceties without your paying.
I can do the silver for everyone just to make it easy.
You have a shit ton of money. You're fine. Because they're money grabbers.
As I just hand over the, actually I did too many. It should be only 8.
He's dripping in blood.
Yes, and he actually like looks past and sees the like robed bone collective and kind of like peeks under the hood a little bit, and he goes, "I see. If this is one of your thralls, you do not have to pay, but I believe you did send a communication forward. Is this the collective you spoke of?"
Indeed. I was wondering if there were any, if there were any one available, perhaps Razmir or the other, who could.
Yes, and he goes,
Studying it.
and he goes, "Well, to be honest, we didn't think that you were being perfectly forthright in your communication, but apparently that's true. You know the way to Umbroth's office. Him and Razmir are waiting for you. I will escort your friends to the mess hall."
Oh, thank you.
Can we go buy the big shiny thing, please, mister?
And he goes, "Ah, yes, if you'd like a tour of Viscopa, I'd be more than happy to oblige."
What's that?
Viscopa is the name of our guild hall that you're standing at. It's also it is both the largest bank and the largest church in all of Ravnica. Truly a center of wealth, opulence, and religious purity unlike any other.
God, I hate how much this just sounds like Connor.
Wow, that's pretty fancy.
Pretty
At
much.
my guild, they just kind of mix different things together and hope they don't explode.
And he just looks down at you, and he looks at the tools, and he goes, "Is it or Simic?"
Well, mister, I'm a goblin. I think that should answer your question.
I'm an Earth.
And he just keeps looking at you, and he goes, "It very much doesn't." And then you see as he like thinks for a moment more, and he goes, "Oh, you're only a goblin. Yes, it is."
Yeah, I don't have any of those weird extra parts.
Sorry, I understand now. It took me a moment. And he goes, Why don't I give you all the tour, and Fox, you know the way to the offices.
Indeed.
Unless all of you would like to go with Fox. Alright. Since I'm pretty sure you don't actually know the way to the offices, I'm just gonna move you there. And,
How do we move through the walls directly to there? Oh, yeah.
I tried to go the way that you would have seen so it didn't reveal shit.
I mean, everyone can see everything.
Your vision
yeah, it's
isn't
all
restricted?
Yeah, it's all revealed.
You know what? I will deal with that another time.
I just have such in-depth knowledge.
So, the acolyte kind of starts leading you through, and he's just pointing out different things like statues on the side, and he goes, "Oh, those are our penance chambers. If you ever need to give a confession or need tidings, you can, of course, pay for one of those. We have counseling room niches for anyone who might need additional religious counseling." And he turns to you, Kai, and goes, "Of course you're familiar with the loan offices," as he passes through that. And then as you get to like that giant golden fountain, he just goes, "And of course we have one of our crowning achievements, the statues of the Obsidian Council." And he starts just going into... Oh, go ahead.
Mister, did you say there's somewhere to confess and it'll make you feel better?
Yes, our yeah, our confession booths, that is one of the greatest honors that we have as members of the Orzhov Syndicate. Providing religious counseling and confessionary chambers to those in need for just a small tiding can really bring so much peace and understanding to a difficult situation.
Only for confession.
Well, is it secretive? Because I don't want anyone to know.
Of course, we have complete honorability and privacy as long as you state it within the confession booth. Nothing that you say will ever leave those walls.
Oh, well,
Laura, you're better off going to an actual church for this, where you don't have to pay for that service.
This is the actual church.
Yeah, and you hear as he goes, "This is an actual church. In fact, it's the largest in all of Ravnica, not even just the 10th district."
But Mr. Kai, I think it'll make me feel a lot better if I just, you know, confessed, as she whispers it to Kai.
I hear you. Let's just focus on the task at hand for right now.
And he goes, "To be fair, our guild members do get 2 free confessions a week, and since you have been brought here by Mr. Machine and paid your tidings, that does count. You're welcome to have your 2 free confessions if you'd like."
Well, there you go, see?
I assure you, it will help you feel much better.
Okay, which one should I go to?
And he goes, "Why don't we finish the tour?" And then, and he like brings you up, and he goes, "You know what? Actually, now that you've seen the statues to the Obsidian, yes, why don't I bring you to a confession booth?" And he just kind of walks you back, and he puts you in front of this door, and he goes, "Each confession booth has a cone of silence spell cast around it. Only you and the priest on the other side will be able to hear you."
Okay,
I'll be here to guide you to the mess hall when you're done.
gently, like, slowly steps in.
I think you should be able to open the door. Yeah.
Steps in. Hello?
You want to hop into the general chat?
Oh gosh. Are we typing this?
No, like, just hop your voice in.
Well, they can all hear
There
me.
are 4 of us in this.
Oh, right. I forgot that you're all, like, physically together. Yeah, okay,
get your phone and go
I
outside.
don't care if they hear this.
Okay, fair enough. And you just hear like a kind of wispy voice through, like, you sit down and there's like a wooden kind of like panel, and you just hear a wispy voice coming through it, and he goes, "Are you here to confess, child?"
Yes, I am, Mister.
Well, what would you like to confess?
Well, I did a pretty bad thing.
Please continue.
Well, you see, so the big explosion over at the Is It Lab. Well, it was my fault,
I see.
and I feel really bad about it. And I think this might help me feel better. That's what the nice man out there said.
Indeed, you are free to confess all your sins in here. And if you wish, we can even provide absolution.
Ooh, what's that?
For a small fee to the Orzhov Bank, we can use our holy powers to cleanse you of any guilt and sin you feel.
Now, Clara, being not very street smart, but absolutely book smart, goes, "Oh, yes, I'd really like to do that."
A first-time cleansing for... Well, was anybody injured in the explosion?
Oh, yeah, there were lots of people, but most importantly, my aunt. She got hurt real bad. Oh, wait, no, I can't say her name because then you'll know.
Everything said in here is private, child.
Well, my Aunt Ryla, I thought I almost killed her, and it was really scary, so she definitely was hurt, and I think my friends got a little hurt too. But again, it was just an accident. I didn't mean to do it.
To hurt one's family is the gravest sin of all. Except, of course, to go against God. Indeed. Well, for such a grave sin, it is not an easy absolution. But, as you feel truly guilty, I can offer you a discount for a first-time offender.
Small price of $1 million.
100 gold, and you shall be absolved of sin and guilt.
Oh, well, Mister, I'm just a simple goblin. I don't have that kind of money.
Then please take solace in the fact that you were able to confess, the first step in forgiveness.
Well, okay. But if I'm not completely absolved, then I'll never feel okay.
This is true.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Well, this didn't make me feel much better, Mister.
Take safe thoughts in the fact that you now know the path to freedom from your guilt.
Okay, I shall carry on as best I can. Thank you.
You are welcome, child. Please return if you need.
Clara rejoins the group looking like all of the life has just been sucked out of her. Just pale and dazed.
Well, Clara, how did your confession go?
I don't know, Mr. Kai. I think I need some time.
I'm sure you do.
And with that, I think it's time that we... So with that, he's like, all right, now, I believe it's time that we all head to the mess hall. I can provide you food and some basic comforts until your companion returns. And with that, we can hop over to Fox and the Bone Collective. As you make your way into the office with Ombrath's office, and you do see like he's at his desk and he's chatting with Razmir as you come in. And as you make your way in, followed by the Bone Collective, he just turns to you and looks at you and he goes, I see you've been busy since your recent decision to decrease tithes. And Razmir just kind of like gives you like a big smile as he sees the Bone Collective walk in.
Indeed, I have procured this undead. It was quite the battle, but it is firmly under my control now for at least, as I do some math in my head, another 20 or so hours, I suppose.
Very, very good. It is actually the first Bone Collective I've seen under Orzhov control.
In fact, it was my hope that bringing it here, perhaps we might learn some more from it.
A proper hope indeed. Razmir here would love to study it.
I present Bone Collective.
And you see as he's just kind of like looking over it, and like you see as he's like pulling up the robes, looking at like just the pile of bones, seeing how like it's forming limbs and it's kind of fluid like. He just goes, very interesting, very interesting. Do you shit, I can't remember Razmir's accent.
I think that was it.
Very interesting, So did its master give you any issues when you took control of it? It's my understanding that bone collectives are not usually on their own in the world.
It did resist. However, the master was, I presume, still deep underground.
Indeed, indeed. It's strange that one of these is on the surface in the first place. The liches tend to stay down there.
It was, in fact, assaulting the, what's the clan?
You would know this, just because you were there 4 hours ago. It was the Grove of the 14 Points.
Yeah, I'll just say it was assaulting the Grove of the 14 Points. I know not what designs it had for that. However, it had very much subdued that entire area.
And Razmir is going to make a history check. And as you say, it was assaulting the Grove of the 14 Points, you see his eyes go wide, and he goes, well, it's a very, very good thing that you took care of this first. Although, could have been a favor to a... I'm sure you didn't know.
I see.
If you're...
You did it.
Yeah, if you're ever... Yes, if you're ever with the 14 Points again, and you have a, piece of leverage such as this, do us a favor and wipe them out, will you?
Fair.
It was sitting in the flames, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
We would like to reclaim those flames someday.
Do I know that history?
Now that he's talking about it, you can make a history check with advantage. It is also right around this time, while you're in the, while you're finally sitting up and resting in the other room, I just need a Kai to give a quick Constitution saving throw. And Fox, you have no idea what he's talking about.
And I will just say, duly noted. My quest was more after retrieving the Bone Collective, wherever it was.
Right. Pat, just take note of that 18, and we'll get to that when we swap back to you. Sorry, I should have had you roll it right before we swapped over, but while we're doing this, I didn't want to forget. He goes, yes, I understand. Well, do you know anything else about this creature? Have you learned anything of it before you brought it here?
I've learned some of its abilities and features. It was true, it is very much susceptible to fire. It was able to inflict a venom on its enemies that, well, for lack of a better word, made them take damage to their ability to communicate and the physical appearance. And it took a restoration, or a lesser restoration, in order to clear them of this affliction. It, of course, attacked with its bites and claws, and it was a furious fighter. It certainly, anything within 5 feet of it took great damage, and it was able to form other parts of it. I know now that it's able to cast spells such as Chill Touch and, of course, Animate Dead.
And as you're saying all this, he has a notepad and he is, scribbling furiously everything you say. And he's, making notes and stuff, and he goes, wonderful. This is, more than we've learned about the bone collectives in a long time. And the specimens are rare, so to be able to see one in person is a real treat. He goes,
Of course.
and you see as he, turns to Ombreth and he goes, well, it seems that the communication he sent ahead was true. So, does this count? I would argue that this would be proof that he has finished the first task in becoming a knight. And you see as Ombrath just kind of goes, he's earning the title faster than expected.
This was all about you.
It was always just about him.
We have 6 free hours! Excuse you! What, we're just gonna sit around and take a rest?
Yes.
You must teach him to transmute souls next. We need new mint coming in. And Rasmir just goes, yes, of course. We will, we'll get to training straight away as soon as we're done studying this magnificent creature.
And I will continue on, and I'm just going to say, I do have need of it later tonight, approximately around midnight, to complete the transaction it will be fighting.
Transaction with whom?
And I will literally just say, someone from the Rakdos Guild.
Will this be good for business?
It certainly will. with this connection, I hope to be able to extract some wealth from their business.
Very well. And you see as Ombrath kind of just like looks back down at his desk, and he just like kind of like gives a wave that you recognize after working under him for quite a while, is like you've been dismissed. And Razmir just goes, yes, well, when you take this out, you said it's going to be fighting?
Yes.
Please, make note of what happens when it kills something. I'm very interested.
And, I was about to suggest something very stupid. Never mind. I take back what I was going to say.
Okay.
Do you know how to scry?
And he goes, this is the second time you've asked me this in about a week. Unfortunately, I still cannot help you.
I was going to say, never mind then. Why did that tab just close?
The Azorius you went to last time may still be able to help. And you just hear Ombrath like grunt in the background, and he goes, no more decreasing tithes.
Of course, of course.
And Razmir just kind of like looks at you and shrugs, and he goes, I'm sorry, I cannot help when it comes to scrying.
And I'll just nod and say, well, how much time do you think you would want with the Bone Collective? I don't know what time it is right now yet.
It is currently about 5:30. It took about like an hour. Yeah, you're probably like an hour and 15 minutes since you like first started coming here. Now that you've been talking for a little bit. And he goes, well, frankly, it's the first we've ever seen. I'll take as much time as you can give me.
And then I will just...
But of course, you did control it. It's up to you what you do with it.
I can leave it here at least while I take my rest before the night, so...
Fair enough. I appreciate it. Actually, you said it could form more of itself. Why not take one with you and leave one with me for study?
The unfortunate thing is I do not have the desecrated oil to keep it under control. I fear that if I split it into many parties, it might get to a point where if one is knocked out, the other might wrestle control back.
Interesting. I hadn't considered that. You may very well be right. That's something we'll have to test later.
Yeah, that is. That's something we should test.
And he goes,
As Fox was like, yeah, I made a good point.
And he goes, all right, well, you said you have to rest for a little bit. If you're all right with me observing it and studying it, just give it the command to listen to me, and you'll have it back in a few hours.
Yeah, and I'll do that.
I'll be in the training rooms when you need me.
And then I'll head off to the mess hall.
All right. Yeah, so you all meet up in the mess hall. The acolyte kind of like leads you downstairs into what is a very large mess hall that I honestly don't have a map for, so we're just going to leave you here.
Yeah.
He leads you into like a very large mess hall, and it's honestly to the point of being impractical, like how gaudy it is. Like everything that can be is made of gold, including like the utensils and the plateware and the tables itself. Like there's like marble floor, gold tables, everything is crazy. And there's like basically a buffet of some of the like nicest general foods you'll ever have. Like it's still a buffet. You go up and feed yourself, but like you see like like seafood and pasta and meats. It's a very, very nice buffet, and the acolyte's just leading you down. And he goes, as Mr. Machine's guests, you are welcome to consume anything you like, and we do have a table for those who are guests. And he leads you to like kind of a side table, and it's just like a large circular golden table with like chairs around. And he goes, I'll sit with you until your patron returns. But please enjoy. And as you all get your food and begin to sit down and relax, Kai, what was your Constitution saving throw again?
18.
All right, so you feel kind of a sharp pain, like almost like an ocular migraine in your eyes for a second. But you're able to like shake it off before it starts to burn. But you realize all of the lights that are in this room are burning. Like it seems like they are. It's like someone's shining a flashlight directly into your eyes.
Ow.
And at that point, you just hear a little whisper in your ear, and you just hear, "Good. It's beginning to set in. You're being rewarded." And then the voice fades.
That's everything.
Yeah.
This is happening now.
Yeah, I mean, like,
You don't have to know.
Clara,
with the successful Constitution save, like, you don't even show any signs of pain or anything. What was that, Clara?
Clara's gonna pile up her plate as high as she can with the buffet.
Yeah, and you see as the acolyte kind of just looks down at you, and he goes, "You're hungry for a little one."
Well, mister, the food is the best thing ever invented. Like, our labs could never come up with anything ever better, as she just stuffs her face.
He goes, "Actually, money is the best thing ever, because it can buy this food."
She doesn't even listen. She's too enthralled with her food.
Yeah, and you are just enjoying this. It's like a very decadent meal. It's probably a lot of things that you wouldn't necessarily have had before in your life, and you're just able to try a ton of new things.
And this is now when Clara discovers she's lactose intolerant.
Give me Constitution saving throw. Would anybody else like to do anything?
I just wanted to ask you, Zach. Are any of the meals beef?
Yes.
I will not be eating those.
You are welcome to only take the meals that you want. I don't know what.
Sees this, and a single tear goes down his cheek.
Clara devours all the beef in front of him.
I'm just sobbing.
Yeah, like, you do see, like, you don't see anything that you would recognize as minotaur meat, but there is definitely
I didn't think
steaks and like there's like pot roasts and stuff, and like there's definitely like beefs and meats and stew where it may or may not be beef or like goat or something else, but there are quite a few meats. There's lots of seafood. There's lots of vegetarian options as well. Pretty much any like normal food you can think of is there.
Gotcha. Yeah, chicken and seafood for me.
Yeah. Is there anything anybody would like to do before Fox catches up with you all? I can barely hear you, Katie.
He's eating.
I said Gideon wants to eat whatever is the closest to what they serve at the Boros.
All right, so you find like quite a few different like really nice grain dishes. Like you find like a nice risotto and a gnocchi, and then you're like too opulent, so you kind of just smash it all together with a fork and then start eating it like the normal gruel you get at the Boros Hall.
Are you saying that the Boros are filthy Italians?
Boros eat gruel, confirmed.
Yes. Uh, and around this time, like as you're all eating up, Fox, you approach as well. You're able to take anything as normal from the Guildhall buffet.
I just
And
have my.
sure. And as you kind of sit down with the rest of your party, the acolyte goes, "Is there anything else I can do for you, Mr. Machine?"
Nothing at this time. I thank you again.
Very good. I will return to my post if you need anything. And you see as he gets up and walks away. And you are all now at this table alone. And if you're just chilling and eating for an hour, you are all welcome to take a short rest.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh no. Oh. I don't have any hit dice.
Uh-oh.
Um,
I'm tired.
And today, we experienced pain.
yeah, and as you're, like, dealing with this, as you're resting and, like, you're just kind of patching up your wounds the best you can, but you've run out of bandages and stuff, you're looking and, like, it really does look like every light is kind of just burning your eyes, and it seems to be getting, like, a little bit worse and worse as time goes on.
Am I gonna become one of those monks that wears a blindfold all the time, but can just inexplicably see perfectly?
He is Daredevil.
Boss priest?
And, alright, so at the end of the hour, you've all eaten your fill, you've all rested up and patched up your wounds a little bit. Even if you haven't healed up, you're at least not, like, actively bleeding on the ground anymore. The prestidigitation has cleaned you all up quite a bit. What would you all like to do? You now have about... it is about 6:40 p.m. for you around now. So you have about 5 hours before you're supposed to be back at the Gore House, and you know that if you're chartering a carriage or a cart, it takes about an hour to get there from here.
Zach, I have a question.
I have an answer.
What did you say that the goblin was high, or what are they usually high off of?
It's called cacklers.
And is that different than the things my parents make?
Extremely different.
Okay, good.
So this is something that you would know just from your time in the Rakdos. Cacklers are made out of demon blood.
Great. I just wanted that clarification.
Yeah, basically it is like they boil down demon blood from those who are quote-unquote blessed by fuck, what is his name? Lord Rakdos. Yeah, Lord Rakdos. The demons and devils that are blessed by Lord Rakdos, some of the ringleaders will like literally bleed them out and then boil their blood down until it becomes like a crystalline powder. And then like goblins aren't the only ones who snort it, but they're small and don't have very high constitution, so they get changed much quicker than most. But long story short, it's demon meth.
I mean, I don't think there's anything else we really need to do before Gore House.
Can I attempt to re-attune to the dagger? Is that something I have to do?
You do. So you do notice that, like, there seems to be something new about your connection with the dagger. So over this short rest, you can take time to kind of focus in on that and reattune, and you might learn something new.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
All right, 1 second as I give you the updated version of that.
Yeah, I have 5 health. And it's been an hour, so my temporary health goes away. I had 7. We physically have 8 hours to spare.
All right, Pat.
More
There
in the
should.
distance, Katie is speaking.
Oh, yeah, Katie. What were you saying?
Oh, we're talking about the cat.
Okay. Kai, after about an hour of like eating and just focusing in on this dagger, the pain in your eyes, and the connection with it, you realize what's going on. As you feel through the connection, you can almost see, like, it's almost like there's a film over your vision, as if you were seeing through Merolathea's eyes. And there should be a new bullet point at the bottom of your dagger that explains the mechanical aspects of that.
Okay then. Let me look at that.
One thing. While we're all still eating, at some point I do want to look at Oh man, why can't I ever remember names in any capacity? Clara, I would like Clara, and just kind of like rumble and be like, "Thank you for keeping me going in that fight earlier. Much appreciated."
Well, I still don't really know who you are, mister, but I don't like seeing people get hurt.
Quality makes me feel better about the company I'm keeping right now.
I've never seen a big cow man like you this up close. You guys are really tall.
Yes, and I can get bigger. Oh god. Yeah,
Are you sexually abusing a child right now?
No,
Bad cow.
I'm coming. No. Oh god.
Clara can put on her pink bodysuit if it'll make it better.
No, stop it. I'd like to stab myself to completion.
The last thing we need is a hard cow.
Oh, Brian, also, you weren't here, but I was telling the group here this earlier. I had a dream last night that all of us friends were hanging out together, and you and Pat were dating, and
Oh, of
I have
course.
never seen such intimacy from either of you. Like, literally, I have never seen Pat so in love with anyone else than when he, like, in my dream, you were, like, sitting in a chair, and then he came and, like, sat on your lap and faced you, and then you guys, like, nuzzled faces and, like, noses, and we're just so happy that we're finally together.
and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" Like, it was so intimate. I felt wrong. It was a time.
Well, Pat, get me, boy.
It's true. Just want you to know you two are very happy together.
Thanks for that. I just heard Pat mumbling in the distance, and all of a sudden Connor just does that.
He asked me if I could play dance this weekend, and I said no.
Oh, I see. That's fair.
Can you play Dan this weekend?
I am going camping this weekend, so no.
So what's happening in our world? What?
I would also like to know, so you have, at the end of your short rest, if we're cutting out the time it takes for you guys to actually, like, get there, then you have 4 hours of free time left.
I'm going to spend the entire 4 hours masturbating furiously. More damage. This is what the dagger lets me do now.
Babies you kill, you gain life.
Souls for the gods.
Come for the cum god.
This is
Really sublime.
so you just ejaculate and then stick the dagger in it.
Paralathea just appears and starts sucking it up.
Ew!
Oh god.
So hear me out. I lied. Don't hear me out.
I do not have anything else I want to do.
Yeah, neither once for hours.
Also, definitely don't look at my eyes. My eye.
Can we go to the Gore House?
Okay, so everybody's good on not doing anything for the next 4 hours?
Yeah.
Live the good life.
Alright, yeah, so give me
Take a medium rest.
no medium rests. What do you think this is, a democracy?
I will just look to Clara and be like, that food might have me feeling weird. Something feels different about this place. It all looks off.
Oh, well, what do you mean? I mean, I know it's very different than everywhere else. It's very crazy, but
It's like everything is more clear and yet darker than I've ever known.
Kai decides to stop being an adventurer and becomes a poet.
Yep.
well,
That's rough, buddy.
does that mean you can see in the dark now? Like,
I don't know. Maybe?
well, let's try. As she puts like a cloak over his head.
Yeah, no, I definitely cannot see.
Oh, well, that was dumb then.
You can't see dark vision with a cloak over your head.
Well, Clara isn't very bright, okay?
Which is ironic, because, like, Clara's definitely the smartest out of all of you.
It's Stavro.
Very book smart.
This is book smart stuff.
Well, do you feel okay, Mr. Kai? Like, are you gonna faint again?
I mean, I definitely need sleep.
We'll put the cloak back on.
But something tells me until I'm able to get to a proper bed, I'm not going to be able to recover.
Well, we'll make sure you're okay tonight.
You better.
And just like that, Clara's had the most responsibility she's ever had.
I'm trusting this accidental murderer with my life.
Hey, I didn't murder actually anybody.
Sorry, you manslaughtered a lot of people.
All right, so, yeah, you're able to charter another cart. Or actually, you don't even have to charter a cart if you don't want, since you're taking the full 4 hours. You can just walk there and save a gold.
Yep.
So you head back to the Gore House, and at this point, it's getting pretty late. You arrive there around like 11 p.m. So about an hour before you really had to, but you see as you get there. 1 second. You're all in the bottom. Put you back up here.
Oh my god.
As you just fucking zoom through the walls. And actually, excuse me. Sorry. While you're on your way back, Jesus Christ.
There's a couple of me.
COVID.
I mean, maybe. Madison has it, so I wouldn't be too surprised if I got it.
Exactly. You better not be fornicating when she's having the COVID.
Why?
Because then you get the COVID.
Not if you do doggy.
Clara's ashamed of you.
You're just facing away, so the coughs go that way.
Zach, I thought you were a good Christian boy that didn't do those kind of things before you were
Yeah,
married.
you're only supposed to do missionary without pleasure.
I was raised Jewish. So you all, as you're making your way back, you actually get stopped by a halfling that's kind of like running through the streets, and you see he just kind of like takes a handful of flyers and shoves them in your hands as you're going by, and you take a second to read them as you're walking back, and it just reads, "Special event at the Gore House tonight. Slaughter parade at midnight." And you are able to make your way back to the Gore House around 11 o'clock. And you find the Gore House is absolutely bustling. Like, there's a lot more people of like multiple different like races. You see pretty much everyone, every demographic there. You see like minotaurs and loxodons and centaurs, and it
Wow,
seems like
even Eskimos.
Eskimos, where? Get killed.
So we ignore the real life racism and go back to our fantasy game racism.
I think we should stay with the real racism. I fucking hate Eskimos.
Jesus Christ.
I have an excess of blubber and I want it.
So they're known as the Inuit people, and we're just gonna recognize that. And so you make your way back to the Gore House, and it is bustling. Like, there are people outside, and as you get back, you see Cesar outside, and he kind of like points and goes, "Ah, we're guests of honor tonight. Welcome, welcome. Do you like? We've got you quite the crowd. You'll be entertainers yet tonight."
And I'm gonna go up close to him and I'm gonna say in a hushed tone, "So, do you want me to release control over him completely? Because if so, you're gonna need a cage to keep him in beforehand."
Bones, he can just sneak out of the cage.
Yeah, they all know that it's fine.
But then it's gonna kill everyone.
Exactly. They asked for this.
They wanted us water, they're getting us
We
water.
literally asked them before we did this mission, like, don't you think it's gonna, like, be dangerous and just kill everyone? And I think they said, like,
That's
the
the
danger
fun.
is what makes it fun.
Oh, good lord.
My boundary is struggling.
Is everybody else there?
Yeah.
Okay. He goes, quite the crowd. And, I believe I promised you an audience with our, illustrious, ringmaster. You're here a bit early. Before the festivities start, would you like to meet Nyoser? He's quite excited to introduce himself to all of you.
Of course, and perhaps if we could drop our little guest here off, I hear there's a corpse pile.
And he goes, yes, oh, you wish to let it feed beforehand. Good idea.
I imagine some nice recovery from us subduing it earlier would do it well to give you the most entertainment.
Good idea. And he leads you down. I didn't bring Cesar up there. I am a silly goof man. So you see as Cesar, he goes, follow me. I'll bring you to the corpse pile. The collective can feed, and then I will introduce you to Nyoser. And he just starts heading down. And he goes, you see these grates? Anytime someone dies, they end up down there. I'm sure there's, we only clean them out every, 8-9 years. I'm sure there will be quite a bit for him.
Can I open the grate?
He goes, it doesn't really open, but, you can just tell your bones to go down there.
Of course. And then I just give the Bone Collective command to feed on that pile.
And you just see here, like, you feel as it, like, it kind of goes into a fluid, slithers down into the pit, and you feel as it just starts feasting and becoming stronger.
We have to recite to kind of regain control of it.
I have control of it for at least 12 more hours.
You release control. Oh,
Then I'm not directly responsible for what it does.
Okay. So, he goes, it looks like, looks like our little friend here will be having a good time feasting on the corpses. We need him nice and strong for him to go on the slaughter parade tonight. Now, Now, would you like to meet Nyoser, or would you like to wait until the main event for that?
Well, compatriots. Yes, sir. We go.
Very good, very good. And he starts leading you up, and he leads you to a hallway in this corner.
Where?
Just like watching the super garage.
He goes, follow. I'll bring you to Nyoser. And he opens, he like knocks a few times and then opens the door and he goes, I bring the special guests you ordered. And you just hear a voice from within say, oh, good, bring him in. And, sorry, what?
It's he.
He.
Now, dear.
You did know that he was a Viashino, which is a lizard folk. So you see, like, sitting behind this desk in, like, this small office is a lizard folk who's just kind of, like, going over some paperwork, and he goes, Welcome, guests! I've heard great things about you all. You
We've heard even greater things about you. Thank you for welcoming us in.
But of course, what would the greatest ringmaster in all of the land be if he did not bring in wonderful new entertainers like yourselves? He goes,
Of course. Well, my friend Kai has already had quite his fun too performing, but this newest champion, I've seen it in action and I am excited for, well, what great things it's gonna do for you.
Mister, I hope you know that this thing can really hurt some people as far as steps up from that.
That's the idea!
The point.
He goes, that's the idea! I'm very excited for this!
Why do all you Rakdos just like to watch people die?
And he goes, oh no, it's not that we like to watch people die. We like experiencing the fear and the... You see, true joy and excitement can only come when you face death straight in the eyes. Allowing the public to experience that and see death and experience the fear of a near-death experience, or even experience the ecstasy of death itself, is the greatest entertainment we can give to the world.
I have to say that's well put, my friend.
I don't believe in your guys' so-called cause or enjoyment.
I don't believe in enjoyment.
What?
And he goes, well, then why did you bring it here?
Well, because your people told us to, but it still doesn't mean I agree with it.
Clara, she is with us. She is a friend of ours, though she has her own will sometimes. It's not the will of the group. Kai, perhaps you could better explain.
Well, what's there to explain? We brought a bone collective. We were hoping to gain an audience with this fine gentleman over here. We have one. Now, I'd like to see how we can strengthen this bond. How can we get to know you? Who is Noser besides all of the many stories I've heard?
Well, I am a man of many stories, as apparently you've already heard, but in the end, I am really just three things. One, I am a Viashino. We are a prideful people, and we don't always think the same way as you fleshies, so I have a wonderful mindset that allows me to really embody the Rakdos way without having to go out of my way to do so, as some of your the fleshies like you do. That is one thing that I am. The second thing that I am is the ringmaster of the Gore House, the greatest of all of the 10th District nightclubs. You see, it is the Gore House that I have curated and protected with blood, sweat, and tears from my bones. From my very bones. I give everything that I have. Yes, tears from my bones, because I know how to speak. Blood, sweat, and tears. I give my muscles and my bones and all of my strength towards protecting the Gore House and making sure that it is the greatest sanctum of pleasure in all of the 10th District. And
it appears you have succeeded greatly on that part.
Yes, I truly do. And this is not something that I say just out of hubris. I truly do consider myself to be amongst the greatest ringleaders that the Rakdos has ever seen. And obviously, based on the final thing I am, Lord Rakdos agrees. For I, alone, am the protector of the Rakdos Guildgate, allowing passage into Rixmari and the Rakdos city of Windholt. And this is my greatest pride in life.
A great pride indeed.
Now, you said you wished an audience with me. You have it. What is it you want to ask? Nobody comes without a favor, and that is okay. I love giving favors.
The day daughter's wedding.
Unfortunately, I have no daughters. I have always wanted, but I tend to get, excited during the carnal pleasures. My mates tend to not last very long.
Neither do I, you know what I mean?
And he goes, oh, if, he goes, I can see it in your eyes that you have a bit of a scaly at heart. If you'd like to take it in another organ, I'm more than happy to oblige.
Well, Pat's about to get some cloaca.
However, yes, you are correct. We do not come without request of a favor, but I believe it would work more in your favor than our own. We do seek passage into Rick's body. That is the primary objective for why we are here.
Interesting. And, might I inquire why, two cops and a bureaucrat need access to my guild hall, where, no offense to someone who has done us such a favor as to bring a bone collective for the slaughter parade, but why do you need access to the guild hall? As I said, it's my greatest honor to protect it. And, it seems a little sketchy.
Well,
Not to mention the large cow and the small cow.
well, the large cow.
The large cow is one of the cops.
Yeah. Well, obviously, we're here to sell drugs.
Yes. Yeah, the little goblin he knows is from the Phillips family and knows that you sell drugs to his club. He's fine with you.
Well, let's just say we have gone out of our way to bring favor to your organization and to the Rakdos as a whole. We do have contacts that we are told to meet in Rixmati. For what purpose? That is unknown so far. We need to gain access in order to even proceed with learning why we were actually sent here.
It is strange that someone is sent a place without knowing why. Who sent you?
That's a good question.
Oh, we're all with the mirror.
I'm sorry, you're what? This is news to me. We're all law-abiding citizens.
Oh, excuse me. I must have just had the wrong idea.
So, sorry, who is it that sent you for this, mysterious entrance into Rixmati?
Obviously, we're not meant to tell them that we're Demir, right? Because that's very secret.
That's up to you guys.
But, because technically, normally the Demir are known for infiltrating and bringing down the other guilds.
Yeah. Just because he probably doesn't trust me the most, since one, I'm new, and then two, I'm also gross. I'd like to step forwards, and then and just say, well, you see, we have a vested interest in reaching Rixmati. Or you see, our friend here, and I point at Fawk's machine. His his superiors in what's the guild hall that we were just at?
Orzhov?
Yeah,
Vizkova.
Yeah, his guildmasters at Vizkova have a vested interest in Rakdos affairs. As this is this is a place to make money, isn't it?
Indeed,
I was hoping that, through developing some connection, perhaps the Orzhov could offer services that would be helpful to some Rakdos, and perhaps help increase our capital as well.
Give a deception check with advantage.
Actually, I don't want to step that close to him, just because I don't want him to think I'm about to go over and murder him. Hey, baby!
Yeah. And, you see as he looks in, he goes... And he, turns to you, Fox, and he just goes, "Why didn't you tell me that they were just on your payroll? This makes things much easier. Now, cops who come for the Rakdos, we don't trust them. Cops who come to the Rakdos because they're on... cops who come to the Rakdos because they're on corrupt payroll of the Orzhov. Now, that is another thing. That is something we can work with. But,
And I just give him a nod while I die inside.
Kai also does not make it known, but is also cringing inside.
Yeah.
Even though the statement is not entirely false that I am on his payroll.
So, that is something very interesting. We are always looking for more business opportunities, especially with such a great guild as the Orzhov when it comes to money and death.
Of course, and our specialities.
Well, there's, how about this? You have done us a great favor in bringing us the Bone Collective here tonight. It will take place, it will lead us in the slaughter parade throughout the streets. You control it, correct?
For a time, it will come eventually that I will lose control of it. But until that time approaches, I am able to control it. It is, and my intention is then to leave it wherever you would like.
This is good to know. How about this? I need to know that this is beyond just a sting operation. I'll give 2 tasks, and if you complete, I'll give you a key rune. Give you access whenever you want through the guild gate of Rakdos.
I'm
Now,
listening.
one...
At this point, hold on. At this point, when Clara hears that they're going to release this into the street, she gets very upset and leaves.
The
All right.
small green thing just starts crying and
Can
running
I
away.
attempt to stop Clara from leaving?
Clara, make an acrobatics check, contested by... Make an acrobatics or athletics contested by Kai's acrobatics or athletics. So you both get to choose which one you use. Clara's able to slip past your grip, Kai, and she just kind of darts out of the room.
As I just sigh and go, she really needs to stop doing that. I swear, she has the right intentions. She just gets upset sometimes at the courses of our work.
It is understandable. Not everybody has the same stomach. Though you may not want to tell her about the first of the 2 tasks I'm about to provide you then.
No.
We may not.
You see, one is really to see if you have the morals to work with the Rakdos, and the second is to see if you have the commitment. So first,
Just kill someone?
yeah, when the Bone Collective goes into the streets, I want at least 2 bodies.
Lord.
You can make them Rakdos if you want, if that makes things easier for you.
Right
But,
now, I say it's a hand on Kai.
But the slaughter parade is nothing without the slaughter. Now, second.
Anyways, continue.
Now, second, we've had a little side gig going with a few people for a while in various guilds that have helped. They have helped us out of some issues. One of those was recently uncovered, and we no longer have the guard transport on our side that we had. I have a friend. Frankly, he's been detained by some people from your fine guild, and he points at the 2 Boros members. Now, I would have used my previous contact, but Listov has been out of commission as of a few days ago. Break Balim out, and you get a key rune.
Jack, can you repeat that?
We
Yeah.
got that going out of the.
Balim, he's a bugbear that was recently arrested by the Boros. Now, it does me better if he's not under arrest. Unfortunately, the person we used to use in your guild to help this out, they've recently come under some fire and can't help us out for the moment. We'll need you 2. Get Balim out, and you have a key rune.
Where's he being held?
Now, that is something really more a question for you. I can tell you information so that you know who he is, but it's up to you to break him out. His name's Balim. He's a bugbear. Bit of a, Okay, Clara, I will tell you something in a second. He's a bugbear who's, come under fire for a few assassinations lately. Now, of course he did no such thing. He's a good law-abiding bugbear. He's just being framed. But, I do need him broken out. You understand?
Understood.
I mean, of course you can get him released legally. That works too. I need Balim still on my payroll and not in jail.
Can do then. And I'm gonna look around for a clock and say, how long do we have for that first one?
And you see as he looks at the clock on the wall and he goes, well, it's about 30 minutes to midnight. We'll head out a few minutes early just to get everything started. But midnight, that's when we march. We'll take the streets, bathe them in light, fire, and blood, and it will be a beautiful, beautiful night. And around this time... Okay. And Fox, around this time, you feel as the Bone Collective is getting significantly stronger, and you feel the bond with it starting to wane and waver. You still have control with it over it, but you feel as it's absorbing these corpses and getting stronger, your bond with it is getting weaker.
I mentally command it to stop.
You feel a bit of resistance, but it does, and you feel as it kind of goes and just sits on the top of the grate of that pit.
How binding is a contract you make with something under your servitude?
It's not.
It's not at all.
Well,
Yeah.
Jack,
You would also know that if you are magically compelling something to sign the contract, then the contract is void. Law magic is somewhat fickle like that.
alright, I'm gonna approach it on top of the crate. And I will give it the command of speak freely.
And so it's at the grate and you're just telling it to start speaking?
I'm telling it, I'm trying to see if it's able to speak without, being giving direct commands of what to say. If it has the intelligence to communicate back.
Yeah, and so if we're doing that, let's actually bring it over to you because you wouldn't know if it's saying anything. So you command it to make its way back to you, and it does, and you tell it to speak freely, and it just looks at you expectantly.
Okay. I don't know what to say. Who was your old master?
And you see as it lets out this dark, gritty voice, and it goes, Scalper.
Scout. What were you doing in the 14th, 14 star, 14,
14 points.
yeah, 14 points.
Feeding.
Do you know why he wanted you there?
One second. He goes, to feed him.
Do you wish to return to his servitude?
Yes.
Why?
He made me.
Would you not rather be free?
He hunts me even now. There is no freedom aside from serving him.
I see. Where do you know where he is?
Not since the connection was tethered.
If I release you, what would you do?
Try to find and serve Sculper. Bring him your corpse.
You made an enemy.
We made an enemy, excuse you.
Well, excuse me.
Princess.
And actually, you're having this whole conversation like right outside the door, right?
Yeah.
As you have this conversation, you hear as Nyoser kind of speaks up and he goes, "Ah, Sculpa! I haven't heard that name in a few months." Oh, it seems you've made it. Know of him? Huh! I helped him. There's not too many Masters of Cruelties left.
He's a master of cruelty?
Indeed. Although I heard he left to become a lich, based on the Bone Collective. Seems I'm right.
I see.
Yeah, I heard he got hunted down. I heard he got hunted down a few months back by some low-level people who got real lucky, but all dead now.
Well, perhaps if you know who he is, how can we... This Bone Collective used to be his. You understand he's going to be a little unhappy now that we've stolen it.
Yes, I wouldn't be surprised. He didn't seem a very nice fella.
I see. Perhaps then, do you know of any way to prevent him from coming back and trying to reclaim his Bone Collective? For I fear if this thing gets too far out of hand, it will simply attempt to return to its master.
Kill the Bone Collective after tonight. You're welcome to.
I see.
Just so you
I'm
know,
going
though, if Sculp is after you, your time's probably limited.
You know, I think we can take it.
It's our specialty.
We certainly didn't struggle to take it with one extra person 6 levels higher than this.
Don't worry, that was just a master of cruelties, not a master of cruelties that had ascended to lichdom.
We all did the mission together!
This is your fault. You keep bringing people after us.
We all agreed to this!
He was, although, as I said, he's probably still pretty weak. Apparently, he was killed just a few months back. Doesn't it take them time to reform? The other option is you could just go and put him down now if you can find him.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go kick down the door and kick that thing for all its lunch money.
Yeah.
Why don't we just leave the bone collector here and forget all about it
Well, we will eventually.
and not have to worry about it?
Yeah, if you don't have the Bone Collective, I mean, he probably just wants that back. I don't know. As I said, I didn't really know the guy too much. He just didn't seem very nice.
That is fair.
So, parade.
We gotta kill 2 people.
No, we had to throw 2 people into the parade.
I thought there had to be 2 corpses at the
Well,
start.
they will be corpses.
I think we gotta kill them. I think that was the point.
I think the Bone Collector will kill a commoner and we'll get real fast.
We just kill him and then throw him in his trash.
He goes, yes, well, it is about time. Shall we take to the streets?
Let's go!
Yep, to the streets.
All right.
Real quick.
Yep.
One, as we actually like walk away from the alligator man that we were just talking to, I want to give a nod to Fox Machine.
Yes.
Sorry, I mean there's an Oreo in my mouth.
Tava, such wisdom. Can I have an Oreo too?
If we come to Delaware.
Oh.
What's up,
Yeah.
Delaware?
But anyway, and I just kind of like whisper to you and be like, sorry for speaking up there, but I have a vested interest in getting to Rick's money too. And now it seems like that was a good enough explanation to let me come as well.
Motherfucker, you're the reason we need to get into Rick's body.
It worked in
Oh.
the end, so that is all that matters.
I thought you guys just also had to go there.
Yeah, we do have to go
I
there.
mean, we were told, but we were not actually told for what reason. That wasn't a lie.
Yeah, the Demir often don't give... They give missions, not advice on how to do them.
Yeah, and I'd just be like, I'd be like, yes, but it didn't seem like any of you had any bright ideas. But that seemed to have been the ticket. And then I also, one last thing to Fox Machine is, if possible, you should make it kill only Rakdos members. They're into this anyway.
You raise a fair point. However, part of the requirement is to kill 2 commoners to begin. Oh, he did say Rakdos.
Yeah,
he said
he
Rakdos.
said kill 2 people. He doesn't care if it's Rakdos.
Okay, is he also not racist, do we think? Are goblins people?
Okay, I would like to put something out there. Ravnica is full of goblins, and they are considered full citizens. I know that is different from a lot.
They aren't.
I know that's different from a lot of D&D settings, but in Ravnica, They are canonically full citizens and intelligent people. A lot of them live in poverty. A lot of them live in poverty due to systematic racism. But they are full people with citizenship.
Like the Eskimos.
When the DM has to stop being racist talk.
Unlike the Eskimos who are rich in blubber.
No, like you can be, your characters can be racist, but like most like even if
I need to escape to a fantasy world where it's okay for me to be racist.
but like
I'm sorry, but I have problems with that.
I agree. I don't want you to be racist, but like I'm trying to make the point of like the NPCs you meet, even if they are racist, acknowledge that goblins are people.
I get it.
All this to say, Pat is gonna murder goblins.
I think I just had to have a little bit of a clarifying talk there for a second.
Clara, get it? Clara, fine, because she's a goblin.
Yeah, because she's the most racist of all of you.
Another clarifying point too, perhaps. Did he tell us to kill someone or to just throw him in front of the Bone Collective?
He said, kill or have the Bone Collective kill at least 2 people. It's not a slaughter parade without the slaughter.
You know, they want to see this thing murdered.
They want to see this thing tear things apart, whether it's their guild members or random people on the street. They want slaughter. And with that...
Purification. Hold on. What street are we on? Are we on a street of like Arachdos nightclub street, or are we on like a street of good law-abiding citizens?
I don't know what you're talking about. The Rakdos are law-abiding citizens.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're pretty much going right outside of the Gore House and starting your parade through the streets, but like, the Gore House is not far, like, it's in a residential district.
Great.
Like, this is a mix of, like, inns, other nightclubs, and just people's houses.
Clara's okay with killing monsters, but guys, there's no innocent people.
You don't know that yet, actually. You ran away. You have no idea what we're about to do.
Also, I apologize for the, like, 400 dice that are about to be rolled.
Oh god.
What?
Roll initiative.
Lizard, cackler, commoner.
Oh no.
Do we all have to roll for initiative too?
Yes.
This is a large combat.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Combat.
Can I cast, before this, cast light on myself just so I don't have to see in circles?
Yes.
So why can Pat see the same thing I can see?
You don't see that.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh.
His screen's the same as mine.
Yep.
Yeah.
But real quick, Clara, if I overhear you saying like that you don't want to like have it kill people, I just want to like get close and be like, we don't have to have it kill people, and I point to like some like the devils or demons, whatever those are around.
Those are goblins! Those
Oh
are
yeah,
my
you're right.
people!
Those are goblins who are high.
Based on the token,
Telling
okay?
me to commit genocide against my people!
I don't tell you that. I was just going based on the tokens.
Those are goblins high on drugs!
Well, maybe they should die.
High on demon blood.
Okay, 1 second while I just get something going.
That's the music.
No, the music should already be going.
What's a
Yeah.
lampooner? thank you. Wait, is Neoser coming with us, or is it a different lizard?
That's Neoser.
Neoser.
Well, it says over here lizard folk.
There's isn't Neoser on that record too? Oh, it is. Okay, right.
Yeah, so, this is why I'm clarifying, sir. A good go kiss Brian.
Okay.
Baby, come here.
There. It now says Neoser.
That vision will never leave my head. They were so low. Damn it!
Alright. So the first is just one of the cacklers as it runs out screaming into the streets, and you just hear as it's like screaming and yelling, and it sees what?
Nothing, never mind, keep going.
You see as it sees one of the like commoners that's just out on the street who begins screaming and running away, and this thing just starts running after it. And then a blade juggler is also going to, and then he is going to juggle a blade right into that guy's face.
Oh, great.
At least he's gonna try.
This guy?
No. The one that's circled with the thing.
So, yeah, he tries to like throw a dagger at this guy, but then isn't able to connect. And you see as the rest of them just start like swarming around this first random guy who just happened to be out in the streets as the slaughter parade began happening. And these people are all just running at him, but none of them are quite able to get up to him. Tavro, out of the party, you are the first to react. What would you like to do?
I was going to abstain, but seeing that they're going after commoners, I think I know the corpses that we're going to make. So, like, this is the commoner that they're chasing after, right?
Yep.
Gotcha. Let me do some quick maths. 60. Hold on, I'm doing math. 65.
Yeah.
70.
And the ruler does the 5, 10, 5 thing, so it'll count diagonals properly as well.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I can make that. Okay, so ready? Here's what I'm gonna do. Because also I also kind of like want to make sure that Neoser isn't suspicious of me. So I'm gonna murder, but I'm not gonna murder any bad guys. I'm going to.
You're not going to murder any bad guys, you're only going to murder the good guys.
Oh, no, I mean, like, no, I said that wrong. You know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
But yeah, if I dash, I can get to here.
And then Goring Horns?
Yes.
Goring Rush?
Yeah, Goring Rush. Unfortunately, can't rage because that's a bonus action, and Goring Rush is too. How do I... Alright, hold on, sorry. Oh yeah, first target, I have to remember. And then... Anyone to hit?
Yeah, that'll hit.
That's 10 damage.
And you, like, feel as you just lower your head as you run at this guy, and your horns go, like, straight through his sternum, and you have impaled him. And like, as you lift him up, you see as he kind of just, like, turns his head around 180 degrees like an owl, and starts laughing in your face.
Alright, well, that's it for me this turn.
And Neoser behind you just goes, "Yes, yes, begin the slaughter parade!" And he just walks forward. And you see as he's like... He sees, like, this commoner right here, and he's just like, "Oh, you look like I want to eat you."
Oh.
What is happening right now?
And you see as he just like walks up, sees this woman, and then just fucking bites her in half. Like he just
Oh,
they're commoners. He just like grabs he just like fucking like he just like grabs her by the shoulders, like opens up his maw and bites her head off, and then just like leans back and chokes it down, and he goes, "The slaughter parade has begun."
no.
Well,
And so Kai, what would you like to do after witnessing that?
No.
So, Yoser counts as a corpse, right?
I don't think that's a good idea.
No, I do not try to kill Yoser.
And you know what? Just in response to that, I think we need to change the music a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just gonna run up, and my game just freaked out again. I'm just gonna ready in action to restrain any beings that aren't our party or Yoser that walk by me.
All right. You see as the lampooner you see as he just runs up to you, Tavro, and he goes, "Joining in the fun, are we?" And one quick second. Tavro, you're gonna have to make a save.
Time.
If this thing ever loads, I'll tell you. There we go.
Oh no.
Joining in the fun, are we?
No.
And he just goes, "Welcome to the slaughter parade!" And that will be his turn. That's a dead commoner. We can remove them from the tracker. And then this commoner is still alive, and you just hear a scream from further up in the road. Like you hear as running footsteps are like heading out in all directions as they see your group coming. And this one is going to just run forward. And then it is the Bone Collective's turn. So, Fox, what is the Bone Collective doing?
Can I have said I casted light on it before everything started, just so I'm able to see?
Oh, yes, you did already say that.
Yeah.
Me. Okay, it should now be emanating light. Yeah, because otherwise, like, it is dark other than the lanterns that are just, like, they're glowing, but they're only giving off a little bit of light around them. Like, it's enough to walk down the street, but it is definitely, like, dark out, unless you are casting light, which you do.
I am going to have it Chill touch is not touch, so therefore I will make it go.
Chill Touch is not a touch spell, nor does it deal cold damage. It is the worst named spell in all of D&D.
And it is going to target this one and cast Chill Touch.
And you see as it kind of like forms this like glowing blue and purple hand on its shoulder, but it's able to like kind of yank its arm out of the way just in time before you're able to make contact. Okay. We have the commoner, and you see as he just goes into the fetal position and goes, "No, no, no, I'm too young to die." And he is just going to take the dodge action and hope that he doesn't die. Clara, what would you like to do as you see this slaughter parade truly begin in front of you?
Laura would like to turn to Fawk and say, Mr. Fox, what are we doing?
I don't know.
Good answer.
How did we end up like this? I'm gonna need to go to confession.
You're really not making her feel better. What should I do?
Probably get some money for absolution. That would be a good idea.
Horrible.
Well, maybe if you could try to kill some or incapacitate some raptors, it'll sort of stop them in their tracks as they try their killing.
As the slaughter parade is going on and Fox and Clara just stop in the background to have a full conversation.
No, hold on. I'm So Clara just like sighs and walks up and takes a deep breath and just goes, I'm gonna put you out of your misery. And then
Oh god.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, and you see as you let loose this bolt of fire from your tools, and it like singes through the depraved goblin in front of you, and you just hear like even in this, you hear as it's still just laughing and cackling away as it's like running around and dancing, and like you see as like it looks down to see the burning on it, and it just starts like shouting in joy.
Clara is sad.
Gideon, what would you like to do?
Okay. That's the way
I can't really hear you, Katie.
I'm kind of far from any of the commoners, so I don't think there's entirely much I can do on this turn. I mean, yeah, I think I may do that. I think that.
I mean, as a rogue, I think you can take the dash action as a bonus action if you want. Still have your action.
Okay, so then I'll take that as my bonus action to grab there.
then can I hit this guy from here or no? Do I do it like
You can make a ranged attack against him. Or you can move up an extra 5 feet to hit him with your blade.
I will do that then. I want to target you. And we're going to do a little thing there. So reliable. That is, I do
Yeah, so you sprint forward and stab this guy with your blade. And he just, like, turns to you and he goes, "Are you joining too? How wonderful!"
What?
And he is able to hold the concentration on the Crown of Madness. And that will bring us to the next commoner. And you just see, like, further up ahead, like, under the street lamp lights, you see as another commoner just begins sprinting away. So it is that one. And then the Fire Eater goes. And he's going to run forward. He goes. Two attacks. He goes. You see as he runs up to you, Tavro, and he's like swinging these chains that have blades on the end of them, and he's just like spiraling them out of control in your general direction. And you feel as the first one hits and just digs into your chest. And then he starts swinging around with the second one, and Jesus Christ, he catches you like right in the neck and just does less damage than the first one.
Yeah.
He goes, and like you see now that he has like both of the chains dug into you, he's kind of using them as like pittons, and he's starting to climb up your back using those as leverage and trying to like climb onto your back and ride you. Fox, what would you like to do?
I will be using. I suppose I can actually use an action.
And you're not quite able to hit, as it kind of just singes away right before it makes it into contact with the Lampooner.
And I'm going to give the Bone Collective the directions: kill but do not feed.
And you just, like, feel the affirmation through your connection. This commoner is going to run. This commoner is going to run. And the Cackler will go.
Since we're back at the top of turn order and it's 10, can we pause here?
Yeah, this is a totally fine place to pause.
All right, yeah, you are all together. That do make sense.
Oh, well, we will.
Oh wow, wow, we.
Oh, you wah wah boo wah.
Oh no.
Hi, Brian.
Hello. Did they leave us?
Yeah, they
How dare they?
they bolted fast. Usually there's like a few minutes of talking.
Yeah, at least with Connor.
Yeah. That was pretty fucking rude of them, if I do say myself.
Yeah, how dare they? I bet Connor will probably come back.
Well, I think they're about to drive home.
Are they not at Connor and Lizzie's place?
No, they were at Katie's today.
Ah, I see. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that's still like a 30, 40-minute drive.
So, this was an interesting session because it was my let's see how much their characters still have morals session, and the answer is, for the most part, they don't.
In fairness, I'm really right. Like,
oh yeah,
I wasn't going to fight. I wasn't going to fight at all until they started going after the commoners, and so I immediately just charged them.
Yeah, and like the others were like, I guess we can kill the Rakdos, but it's like, I really expected it to be like, okay, we got permission to kill the Rakdos. Let's do that before they can even attack anybody. And they're like, oh, well, if they're killing commoners, I guess we should kill a Rakdos. This was really supposed to be the moral dilemma session, and there was some of that, but not nearly as much as I expected, which bodes well for the future.
Oh, no. No. Yeah, notice how Tavro didn't say anything when he was like, you gotta break that guy out of prison? It's like, he was like mulling it over, like he's still not certain about that, but he's not gonna straight up tell the guy no when he needs to get to Rex, or what was it called again?
Rix Mahdi.
Rix Mahdi, thank you. My mind is going.
So basically, that is the Rakdos Guild Hall, and there are like some guild halls are fairly open. Like Viscopa Bank is a public guild hall. The Azorius Guild Hall and the Boros Guild Halls all have public faces. The Rakdos, Demir, and Golgari Guild Halls are like very well protected, and like the Gruul Guild Hall is basically just like literally just a pit of anarchy. It's a giant fire pit that while it is still burning, they jump in and fight just for supremacy. Because the Gruul are wild.
I mean, the Rakdos are too, but that is crazy.
Yeah, the Rakdos are the Rakdos are not good people.
Yeah, I am going to try and what Boros Guild Hall would I report to? Is there just one or?
So there is Sunhome, which would be your primary place that you report to. Sunhome is like the major Boros Guild Hall. There are guild hall there are barracks and stuff throughout. But Sunhome is the major Boros Guild Hall, and for you to have a Spear of the Legion means that you are one of the defenders of Sunhome.
Right.
So Sunhome is where you report to.
Right, and is that very far away?
That is, I think it's in the 3rd precinct. So, actually, let me just check. I have maps.